Is Boston a good place to move to in 2024? Well, professionally and personally, I would say absolutely. But here's the thing, that just really depends on where you're coming from, if you're already in the state of Massachusetts, or if you are retiring. Yes, people do retire in Massachusetts. I mean, so many of them come from the city of Boston or in the suburbs of Boston and decide to move to coastal towns around Boston, such as Cape Cod. Relocating to Boston, you're at the right place, because on today's video, we're going to talk about what has happened in 2023 and how does that affect different buyers, home buyers, and actually just people in general, if they're considering relocating here for jobs, for school, for higher education, and pretty much anything in between. So I'm Katherine Kranenburg. I am a Greater Boston realtor, and we love putting out new content every week, and we hope that you find it resourceful. We have 5-star Google reviews here, and you can also find us at this website, movingtoboston.com. And as always, we'd love to hear from you in the comments below, or you can hit the subscribe button. So let's dive into today's video. So let's dive into a little bit of 2023. I mean, it's pretty wild last year, right? We had high interest rates. We saw home prices increase. We've seen a lot of new development going in and around the greater Boston area. And let's face it, there have been job layoffs, not only here in the greater Boston area, across Massachusetts, but actually across the United States and the world. So as we go through this sort of adjustment normalization period, kicking off from COVID, where we saw actually low interest rates and soaring home prices, I would say right now we are going into a more normal, stable, reasonable market if you are looking to relocate or buy in the Massachusetts area in 2024. Overall, I would say we've seen a 20% increase in home values over the past 2 years, and let alone just 8% last year across the greater Boston area. It is market to market, but overall we have seen strong stability. We've also seen a slower market in terms of new homes coming on the market in the past year. If you look at some of the data from last year and the year before, home prices have increased, but our inventory has decreased about 20%. So yeah, I think that's something to consider when you're moving to Boston. The state of Massachusetts and the city of Boston has received a lot of accolades and recognitions. Actually, this year, Boston was named one of the best big cities in the United States, according to Condé Nast magazine, and also was recently recognized by Resonance Consulting Group as one of the best global cities to live in. And this was such a great recognition to the end of 2023, as Boston was named the 24th city out of 100 based on Resonance Consulting, analyzing different factors, which included real estate, economic development, tourism, to name a few. Boston area commands a premium, whether it's housing, jobs, education, or day-to-day living. And whether you live here already, planning to move to Massachusetts in the near future, that means this video is just for you, because if there is something that I've learned about moving here myself almost 7 years ago, is how much we've enjoyed the 4 seasons of living in this wonderful state, and also the surprises that comes along with those seasons and some of the challenges. Anyway, what a great way to start off 2024 is being recognized as the best state to raise a family. This is according to this recent article by Wallet Hub. Just this week, Mayor Wu, in her State of the City address, talked about housing and specifically cited that 7,400 permits have been approved in the last year, and what she quoted as the most permits, highest ratios in the last 10 years. So we know that growth is coming. We're already seeing it as well. You can check out my Coming to 2024, What's Coming to Boston. And that has a lot to do with the job market and the companies moving into this area. But going back to the housing, Mayor Wu is really trying to address these concerns, not only in the city, but it's also being felt out here in the suburbs. And she's basically announcing plans on bringing more residences. And one effort to do that is through what we're calling the MBTA law, which creates more in-law apartments, it creates more additional multifamily dwelling, multifamily living, and we're also seeing that definitely across the suburbs as well. But you can click on here for that video that I did about the MBTA that has officially passed, not only in Newton where we are, but in various parts across the city, across greater Boston as well. Anyway, it is a statewide effort to meet the demands and the growing population in our area, mostly due to old zoning laws dating back to the 1960s. So we're definitely going to see a huge change in 2024 around housing. Actually, Somerville is very interesting. The changes that are going on there is interesting because it's actually encouraging more moderate density housing, relaxing some of those zoning rules. And we're seeing that change a lot over the past year. Home builders have actually played a huge and most significant role and has had the most influence on keeping the Boston housing economy going. And if not, have been the ones that are continuing to fuel the greater Boston area. And in particular, as you head into the suburbs, you're going to see a lot of the more traditional houses, older homes, with people also moving out of the area, retiring and going into more multifamily living. So we have been very grateful for them overall. I would say that long-term housing developer who recently shared this, Jane Doherty, which is the CEO of the old Boston development firm, Cabot and Forbes. And he basically says that we are definitely in for change. And if the cranes that are sitting in and around Boston, that are dotting the skylines, working on completing those projects, hopefully they will continue to move ahead. And if they don't, the pipeline is definitely going to dry up and that things could look very different around that. So as Mr. Doherty says, the urban planning that incorporates multifamily housing is the future and is basically inevitable as we work through creating more housing in 2024 for the growing demands of people moving into the state and people relocating here. So is Boston a move for you in 2024? Well, we have definitely seen housing in a holding pattern over the last year due to the rise of interest rates. But actually, we're starting to see that change just in the first few weeks of January. What experts are calling the lag effect, which is basically buyers catching up to the cooling of interest rates and hopefully taking advantage of those opportunities that are out there right now. We're definitely seeing a change in that already as we go into the spring market. It's super positive direction being taken not only by Mayor Wu and the governor of Massachusetts, but each of the different towns in and around Boston are also experiencing development and growth. And we're all really we need more inventory. People moving here, even from California, recently just reached out to me and they're like, we're ready to change our sunshine for Massachusetts. Now, I don't know if they're actually moving here just for the weather. I would say that's probably not the most ideal, but their jobs are bringing them here. California is probably one of the biggest states that moves to Massachusetts, along with Oregon, New York, and Connecticut. I think I've said this on other videos as well, but living in Massachusetts with its little towns and its small villages and its neighborhoods bring a strong sense of community. And actually, I get asked that a lot here on this channel as well. And it's really and makes it ideally for families looking to buy in the Massachusetts area. As I mentioned earlier in the video, Wallet Hub just named Massachusetts as the best state to raise a family, and they based it on safety, education, childcare, affordability, social economics, various things to consider to make it to the top of this list. So that was a great start for Massachusetts to start off 2024. So Massachusetts is known for being a highly cost area for living day to day, for home prices, taxes. But did you also know that we are also considered affordable? There are lots of towns and areas outside Boston that are really great, easy access to Boston, but are also much more affordable. And that could be areas like Burlington. They have a big mall there. They have great restaurants. One of the things that they have there is called the Wayside Commons. And then If you're an outdoor enthusiast, which a lot of people are in the state of Massachusetts, they have over 200 acres of trails in the Burlington area. I mean, there is just, honestly, this state has a little bit for everyone. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I know we went over a lot of different things about, is Boston a move for you in 2024? And I would say if you're coming from California, this place is a dream when it comes to home prices and things to do. We are truly a 4-season state. If you're coming from Texas, well, there's probably going to be a little sticker shock for you when it comes to the cost of living here. But I promise you, you'll love that you have 4 seasons instead of just having hot weather all year round. I'm just joking. If you're looking for more information, we put out new content every week. I'm Katherine Kranenburg. I'm a Greater Boston area realtor. I'd love to be your realtor of choice. You can hit the subscribe button, or you can find us at info@movingtoboston.com. And as always, I really appreciate you being here. Again, I hope you learned a lot today.